The stars looked peaceful tonight. Commander Han Sol stood at the window of the space station, watching Earth spin slowly below. The blue planet seemed so quiet, so helpless. That was exactly what they wanted everyone to think. His communication device beeped. Admiral Jiwoo appeared on the screen. Her face was calm, but Han Sol could see the tension in her eyes. "They are coming," Jiwoo said quietly. "The Valak ships crossed into our solar system 10 minutes ago." Han Sol nodded. They had been waiting for this moment for years. "How many ships?" 50 warships. "They think it will be easy. They think we have nothing to fight with." Jiwoo almost smiled. "They are wrong." Far away in deep space, the Valak's fleet moved toward Earth. Inside the lead ship, Counselor Thexfor looked at the scans of Earth. He saw cities with lights. He saw old satellites. He saw ships that used chemical rockets. It all looked so primitive. "This will be over quickly," Thexfor told his officers. "These humans have no shields, no plasma weapons. They still burn fuel to move through space. We will take their planet in one day." His officers laughed. They had conquered 12 planets before. This would be the easiest one yet. Back on Earth, in a secret facility deep underground, Dr. Yuna checked her computer screens. Numbers ran across the displays. Weapon systems showed green lights. Everything was ready. "The quantum shields are at full power," she said to her team. "The disruption fields are online. All battleships are ready to decloak on your command, Admiral." Jiwoo stood in the command center. Around her, hundreds of people worked at their stations. They had trained for this day. They had kept Earth's secrets for 50 years. Now it was time to show the galaxy who they really were. "Let them come closer," Jiwoo said. "Let them think they have already won." Lieutenant Minji sat at her station on the warship Indomitable. The ship was invisible, hidden by technology the aliens did not know about. She watched the enemy fleet on her screens. They were moving past Jupiter now. They would reach Mars in 3 hours. "They are not even trying to hide," Minji said to Han Sol. "They think we cannot see them. They think we cannot fight back." Han Sol looked at the tactical display. "Good. Overconfidence is a weakness. We will use it against them." The Valak's fleet continued toward Earth. Thexfor sent a message to the human governments. His voice was full of pride and contempt. "Humans of Earth, you have 1 hour to surrender. Give us your planet peacefully, and we will let most of you live. Fight us and we will destroy everything. You have no weapons that can hurt us. You have no shields that can protect you. Surrender now." The message played on every screen on Earth. People in cities looked up at the sky with fear. But in the secret command centers, the military leaders smiled. The trap was almost ready. Earth sent no reply. The silence made Thexfor even more confident. He thought the humans were too scared to even answer. "They know they cannot win," he told his fleet. "Move to attack formation. We take the planet in one strike." The Valak's warships spread out as they passed Mars. Each ship was huge, 3 times bigger than anything humans had ever shown in space. Their weapons could destroy cities. Their shields could stop missiles. Or so they thought. In the command center, Jiwoo watched the enemy fleet reach the position she had been waiting for. They were surrounded now, even though they did not know it. 75 human warships floated invisibly around them, hidden by technology the galaxy had never seen before. "This is it," Jiwoo said quietly. She took a deep breath. "All ships prepare to decloak. Weapons ready, shields up. On my mark." Han Sol felt his heart beat faster. Years of planning. Years of building in secret. Years of pretending to be weak. All of it came down to this moment. "Indomitable ready," he reported. Around him, his crew sat at their stations, hands steady, eyes focused. They were ready. One by one, the other ships reported in. Defiant, unconquerable. Thunder, Phoenix, Titan. Names that meant strength. Names that meant Earth would not bow. Dr. Yuna watched her screens. All systems showed perfect. The shields that could adapt to any weapon. The engines that bent space itself. The computers that could think faster than any alien mind. All of it working perfectly. All of it ready. "Weapons are locked on target," Minji reported. Her voice was calm, professional. "Every enemy ship is marked. We will not miss." Thexfor sat in his command chair smiling. Earth was right in front of him now. No ships came to defend it. No weapons fired at his fleet. The planet just sat there, helpless and waiting. Victory was seconds away. All ships prepared to fire on, he stopped. His face went pale. The screens in front of him went crazy with alerts. His officers shouted in confusion and fear. Ships appeared. Massive ships. Human ships. They appeared all around the Valak's fleet, surrounding them completely. Each one was twice the size of a Valak's battlecruiser. Their weapons glowed with power. Their shields shimmered with energy that should not exist. 75 human warships hung in space where seconds ago there had been nothing. The Valak's fleet was trapped in a cage of steel and fire. Jiwoo stood tall in the command center. This was the moment that would change everything. The moment Earth stopped hiding. The moment humanity showed the galaxy what they could really do. She opened a communication channel. Her voice went out to the Valak's fleet, to the Galactic Council, to every civilization that was watching. This is Admiral Jiwoo of the United Earth Defense Fleet. You came to our home thinking we were weak. You came thinking we could not fight. You were wrong. We have been watching you for 50 years. We have been learning. We have been building. And now you will learn what humans can do when you threaten their world. Thexvor stared at the screens in shock. This was impossible. Earth had nothing. Earth was primitive. Earth was supposed to be easy prey. But the screens did not lie. 75 warships surrounded his fleet, each one more powerful than anything he had ever seen. The humans had been pretending all along. They had made the galaxy think they were helpless. And the Valaks had fallen for the trick completely. Hansol smiled grimly. The enemy thought they were hunters, but they had just become the prey. Let us show them what Earth is made of, he said softly. The battle for Earth was about to begin, but it would not be the battle anyone expected. 2 years had passed since the Krell War ended. Admiral Hansol walked through the halls of the Joint Defense Academy on Earth. Around him, students from 30 different species studied together. Humans learning from aliens, aliens learning from humans. All of them preparing to defend the galaxy together. This was Earth's gift to the galaxy. Not weapons, not warships, knowledge, training. A place where different species could learn to work as one. Hansol stopped to watch a training exercise. A young human officer worked with a Drine warrior and a Lyran navigator. They moved together smoothly, each one trusting the others completely. This was what the galaxy needed. Not more division, more unity. On the Galactic Council station, Ambassador Sujin prepared for the most important vote of her career. Today, the Council would decide if Earth earned full membership. 2 years of provisional status, 2 years of proving themselves. Everything came down to this moment. High Chancellor Vexenil opened the session. We gather to vote on Earth's full membership. In 2 years, humanity has changed much. They fought beside us against the Krell. They shared their technology. They trained our soldiers. They proved themselves to be valuable partners. He paused, looking around the chamber. But some still have concerns. Some fear human power. Some worry about how fast Earth has grown. We will hear all voices before we vote. A Rax counselor stood up. His species had been skeptical of humans from the beginning. Earth has grown too powerful, too quickly. They command the largest fleet in the galaxy now. They train our soldiers. They influence our decisions. This was supposed to be a council of equals. Instead, humans seem to lead everything. Sujin stood to respond. Her voice was calm and respectful. Counselor, Earth does not seek to lead. We seek to serve. Yes, we command the largest fleet, but we use that fleet to protect everyone, not just ourselves. Yes, we train soldiers, but we teach them to work together, not to follow human orders. Earth wants partnership, not dominance. Daleth stood up next. The Drin warrior who once doubted humans now spoke for them. I fought beside humans in the Krell War. I saw them risk everything to save my life. I saw them choose mercy when they could have chosen destruction. Earth's power is not a threat. It is a shield for all of us. I vote yes. More voices joined the debate, some for, some against. But slowly, the tide turned in Earth's favor. The galaxy had seen what humans could do. They had seen human strength. But more importantly, they had seen human character. Finally, Vexenil called for the vote. Green lights for yes, red lights for no. The chamber glowed with more green than red. Much more. Earth had won. The vote is decided. Vexneal announced. Earth is granted full membership in the Galactic Council. Welcome, humanity. Welcome as equals. Sujin bowed deeply. She felt tears in her eyes but held them back. This was more than a vote. This was acceptance. This was proof that Earth belonged among the stars. Back on Earth, Admiral Jiwoo watched the vote on her screen. She smiled softly. Her gamble had paid off. 50 years of hiding, then revealing themselves in one dramatic moment. It could have gone so wrong, but it went right. She thought about everything that had changed. Earth was no longer alone. Earth was part of something bigger. Humanity had a voice in galactic affairs now. But with that voice came responsibility. In Dr. Yuna's laboratory, a team of scientists from 8 different species worked on a new project. Not weapons this time. A cure for a disease that affected 3 different species. Human medical knowledge combined with alien biology. Together, they were close to a breakthrough. Yuna watched them work with satisfaction. This was what she had hoped for. Different minds working together. Different perspectives creating better solutions. Science without borders. Medicine for everyone. A young alien scientist excited by a discovery called out to her. Dr. Yuna, we found it. The cure works. Yuna smiled. Good work, everyone. This cure will save millions of lives across the galaxy, and we created it together. That is the real power of cooperation. Captain Minji commanded a new ship now. Not a warship. An explorer vessel. She led a mixed crew on a mission to map unknown regions of space. Humans, Drine, Lyran, Vec, and even a freed Krell named Rix who joined the crew voluntarily. They discovered 3 new star systems in 1 month. They found 2 planets with potential for colonization. They encountered 1 new species and established friendly contact. This was the future. Not war, exploration, discovery, growth. One evening, as they orbited a beautiful blue planet, Rix approached Minji on the bridge. The Krell spoke slowly, still getting used to individual thought. Captain Minji, thank you. Minji looked at him curiously. For what? For freeing my people. Humans could have destroyed us. Instead, you gave us choice, gave us freedom, gave us life. I will never forget. Minji smiled warmly. That is what humans do, Rix. We fight when we must, but we prefer to build, to create, to help others grow. On the council station, a surprising visitor arrived. Counselor Thexvor, the Valix leader who attacked Earth 2 years ago. He requested a meeting with Ambassador Sujin. They met in a private chamber. Thexvor looked older now. Humbled, he bowed deeply to Sujin. Ambassador Sujin, I come to apologize. I attacked your world out of arrogance, out of pride. You defeated me, but you did not destroy me. You showed mercy. You taught me that strength without wisdom is worthless. The Valix Empire wishes to request an alliance with Earth. Sujin studied him carefully. She saw genuine regret in his eyes. Counselor Thexvor, Earth does not hold grudges. We believe in second chances. We believe people can change. If the Valix truly seek peace, Earth will be your friend. She extended her hand. Thexvor looked at it, then took it. A simple gesture, but it meant everything. Former enemies becoming allies, war turning into peace. General Taeyang stood before the first graduating class of the Joint Defense Academy. 100 students from 30 species. They had trained together for a year. They had become friends, brothers and sisters in arms. You are the future, Taeyang told them. Not human future, not Drin future, not Lyran future, galactic future. You will serve together, fight together, build together. You are proof that different species can become one team. Never forget that. The students cheered. They threw their caps in the air. Human tradition that other species had adopted. Small things like that showed how cultures could blend and strengthen each other. Hansol watched from the side of the ceremony. He felt proud. These young people would carry on the work he started. They would protect the galaxy. But more than that, they would unite it. Daleth stood beside him. The Drin warrior had become a close friend. "You did well, Fleet Admiral. You changed the galaxy." Han Sol shook his head. "I just did my duty. Earth changed the galaxy. Earth showed everyone that cooperation works better than conflict, that protecting is better than conquering, that different can be stronger than same." That evening on Earth, children played in parks under stars that now held friends instead of threats. Human children. Alien children who came to Earth with their diplomat parents. All of them playing together, learning together, growing together. This was the real victory. Not the battleships, not the weapons, not the technology. The real victory was peace, understanding, unity across the stars. Jiwoo stood on her balcony looking up at the night sky. She thought about how far humanity had come. From hiding in fear to standing proud. From being alone to having allies across the galaxy. From being seen as prey to being respected as protectors. The battleships had changed everything, but not in the way anyone expected. Yes, they showed Earth had power, but more importantly, they showed Earth had restraint, wisdom, mercy, the willingness to help instead of hurt. Those qualities changed the galaxy more than any weapon ever could. Somewhere in deep space, a new station was being built, a joint research facility. Scientists from 40 species would work there, human, alien, all focused on one goal, making life better for everyone, curing diseases, creating clean energy, exploring the universe together. This was the new paradigm. Not humans leading, not aliens following. Everyone working as equals. Everyone contributing their strengths. Everyone covering each other's weaknesses. Yuna received an award that year, the Galactic Peace Prize, for her work saving lives across the galaxy, for choosing to free the Krell instead of destroying them, for using science to build instead of to destroy. She donated the entire prize money to help war orphans from the Krell conflict. Not just human orphans, all orphans, every species. Because in Yuna's mind, and in Earth's philosophy, all lives had equal value. Years later, historians would debate what made Earth so special. Some said it was human adaptability. Others said it was human courage. Some pointed to technology. Others pointed to tactics. But the real answer was simpler. Earth succeeded because humans understood something fundamental. Strength without compassion is tyranny. Power without responsibility is destruction. Victory without mercy is hollow. Earth appeared defenseless. The galaxy thought humans were weak. But weakness and strength are not about weapons. They are about character, about choices, about what you do with power when you have it. The battleships changed everything, not because they were powerful, but because humanity used that power wisely. They protected instead of conquered. They helped instead of dominated. They built bridges instead of walls. The Valix fleet hung frozen in space. Thexvor could not believe what he was seeing. 75 human warships surrounded his 50 ships. Each human vessel was massive, powerful, and very real. Fire. Fire everything. Thexvor screamed at his weapons officers. Destroy them! The Valix ships opened fire. Plasma bolts filled space with bright light. Energy beams shot toward the human vessels. Missiles streaked through the darkness. Enough firepower to destroy a moon rained down on the Earth fleet. On the indomitable Lieutenant Minji watched her screens calmly. The enemy weapons hit the human shields and simply stopped. The shields glowed bright blue, then faded back to normal. Not a single shot got through. Shields holding at 98%, she reported. Their weapons cannot hurt us. Commander Han Sol nodded. Dr. Yuna's adaptive shields were working perfectly. The shields learned from each attack and adjusted in milliseconds. Plasma weapons, energy beams, missiles. Nothing could get through. Return fire, Han Sol ordered. Target their weapons only. Disable, do not destroy. The human warships fired. But they did not use plasma or energy beams. They used something the aliens had never seen. Electromagnetic pulse weapons. Silent pulses of energy that could not be blocked by normal shields. The pulses hit the Valak ships. Lights flickered and died. Weapon systems shut down. Engines stopped working. One by one, the alien warships went dark and silent. Thexavor watched in horror as his fleet died around him. His own ship's lights dimmed. His screens went black. His weapons stopped responding. In 30 seconds, his entire fleet was helpless. Admiral Jiwoo opened a communication channel again. Her face appeared on every working screen in the Valak's fleet. Her expression was serious but not cruel. Your weapons are disabled, your engines are offline, but your life support still works. We could have destroyed you. We chose not to. That is the difference between you and us. She paused, letting her words sink in. You came to conquer Earth because you thought we were weak. You were wrong. We have been watching the galaxy for 50 years. We studied you. We learned from you. And we built our defenses in secret. In the command center, Dr. Yuna activated the final part of the plan. She pressed a button on her console. Around the entire solar system, hidden satellites came online. They sent out a special signal, a quantum disruption field. The Valak ships tried to activate their faster-than-light drives. They tried to escape, but the drives would not work. The quantum field blocked them completely. The enemy fleet was trapped in the solar system with no way to leave. What have you done? Thexavor whispered. Fear filled his voice now, not pride. Jiwoo answered him. We disabled your faster-than-light engines. You cannot escape. You cannot call for help. You are prisoners now. But we will not kill you. We will hold you here until you understand something important. What? Thexavor asked quietly. Humans do not want war. We do not want to conquer. But we will protect our home with everything we have. Tell your empire. Tell the Galactic Council. Tell everyone. Earth is not defenseless. Earth is not weak. And Earth will not be conquered. The battle was over. It had lasted exactly 47 minutes. Not a single human had died. Every Valak ship was captured without being destroyed. The enemy came to take Earth, and now they sat helpless in space, learning a hard lesson. Hansol looked at his crew. They had trained for years for this moment. They had done everything perfectly. The plan worked better than anyone hoped. Well done, he said simply. His crew smiled. They had just won the most important battle in human history. But the victory was just the beginning. Jiwoo knew that. The entire galaxy had been watching. Every civilization saw what happened. Earth could no longer hide. The secret was out. On the Galactic Council station, thousands of light years away, alarms went off. Counselors rushed to their chambers. They watched recordings of the battle in shock and disbelief. High Chancellor Vex Neal, an ancient being who had led the council for 200 years, watched the human ships on his screen. He had never seen technology like this. Shields that adapted, weapons that disabled without destroying, a whole fleet that appeared from nowhere. How long have they been hiding this? One counselor asked. 50 years, another answered. The admiral said 50 years. They have been watching us all this time. Fear mixed with respect in the council chamber. Some counselors were angry that Earth had deceived them. Others were impressed by human patience and planning. All of them realized the same thing. The galaxy had just changed forever. Back on Earth, cities erupted in celebration. People poured into the streets, cheering and crying with relief. They had been so afraid when the enemy fleet arrived. Now they knew the truth. Earth had been ready all along. In her laboratory, Dr. Yuna sat quietly. Her team celebrated around her, but she felt the weight of what they had done. They had built weapons that could defeat any enemy. They had created shields that could not be broken. That power came with responsibility. What happens now? Her assistant asked her. Yuna looked at her screens. The quantum field glowed bright on the display. 50 enemy ships sat trapped in their own prison. Now we show the galaxy who we really are, she said softly. Not conquerors, not destroyers, but protectors. We use our strength to build peace, not spread war. On the indomitable, Minji checked the long-range sensors. New signals appeared on her screen. Ships were coming from all directions. Not enemy ships. These were diplomatic vessels from dozens of different species. Commander, she said to Hansol, we are receiving 47 communication requests. Species from across the galaxy want to talk to us. Hansol smiled. Earth had hidden for 50 years to stay safe. Now they were the most famous planet in the galaxy. Everyone wanted to meet the humans who defeated the Valak so easily. Forward all requests to Admiral Jiwoo, he said. She will handle the politics. Our job was to protect Earth. Her job is to figure out what comes next. Jiwoo stood in the command center reading the incoming messages. Requests for alliances, offers of trade, demands for meetings. The galaxy wanted answers. They wanted to know what else Earth was hiding. They wanted to know if humans were friends or threats. She made a decision. Earth would not hide anymore. Earth would join the galactic community, but on their own terms, as equals, not as victims, as partners, not as servants. Send a message to the Galactic Council, Jiwoo told her communication officer. Tell them Earth accepts their invitation to meet. Tell them we are ready to talk. The officer nodded and started typing. Jiwoo turned back to the screens showing the captured Valix fleet. They came to conquer Earth and failed, but their defeat might lead to something better. Peace. Understanding. A place for humanity among the stars. Thexfor sat in his dark command chair. His pride was broken. His fleet was defeated, but he was alive. The humans could have killed him. They chose mercy instead. That decision told him more about humans than any battle could. They had power, but they used it wisely. They won the fight. But they chose not to destroy their enemy. For the first time in his life, Thexvor felt something he never expected. Respect. Respect for the species he had thought was weak. Respect for the humans who proved him wrong. The galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again, and Earth would never hide in the shadows again. The Iron Curtain had risen. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. 6 months had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council. Admiral Hansol, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, stood on the bridge of his command ship. He was looking at something terrible on his screens. A mining colony. 20,000 people gone. Nothing left but empty buildings and silence. The Krell swarm had been there. The Krell were not like other aliens. They were not people who could talk or make deals. They were a hive mind, millions of creatures that thought as one. They moved from world to world, eating everything, leaving nothing behind. And they were spreading fast. Hansol turned to Captain Minji. She had been promoted too, now commanding her own destroyer. She stood beside him, studying the tactical maps. The Council's defenses are failing, Minji said quietly. Their ships cannot stop the swarm. Traditional weapons do not work. The Krell just keep coming. Hansol knew she was right. The Galactic Council had fought the Krell for 2 months. They lost 4 battles. Thousands of soldiers died. 3 more colonies were destroyed. The Council was desperate. That was why they called Earth. Ambassador Su Jin had sent the message yesterday. The Council needed help. They needed human tactics. They needed someone who could think differently, fight differently. They needed Earth's fleet. On Earth, Admiral Jiwoo called a meeting with the government leaders. The decision was not easy. Earth had just revealed itself. Did they want to fight in someone else's war? But Jiwoo knew the truth. If the Krell kept spreading, eventually they would reach Earth. Better to stop them now, far from home. Better to help the Council and prove Earth could be trusted. Earth agreed to help. Hansol would lead a combined fleet. Human ships and alien ships together, 5 different species working as one force. But first they needed a plan. Dr. Yuna worked day and night in her laboratory. She studied the Krell carefully. They were silicon-based life, not carbon like most species. They communicated through some kind of neural network. Kilwan and the others did not care. They were connected to something bigger. Her team found something important. A central nexus. A massive structure where the Krell signals were strongest. It was like a brain for the whole swarm. If they could disrupt that, maybe they could stop the Krell without killing them all. Yuna created a new weapon, a resonance device that would break the neural connection. It would not kill the Krell. It would free them from the hive mind. They would become individuals, no longer controlled by the swarm. But getting to the nexus would not be easy. The combined fleet would have to fight through thousands of Krell ships first. Hansol assembled the fleet at Terminus Gate, a strategic choke point between Krell territory and Council space. 200 ships gathered there, 50 human vessels, 150 alien ships from 5 different species. Working together would be hard. Each species had different tactics, different weapons, different ways of thinking. Hansol knew he had to unite them somehow. He held a meeting with all the commanders. A Drin warrior named Daleth spoke first. His species valued honor in combat. They liked to fight face to face, not from a distance. Humans won one battle against the Valaks, Daleth said coldly. That does not make you better than us. Why should we follow human orders? Hansol met his eyes calmly. Because we study our enemies before we fight them. Because we adapt our tactics to win. Because we care about keeping our people alive. Not just looking brave. If you want to die with honor, go ahead. If you want to win this war, listen to me. Silence filled the room. Then Daleth laughed. I like you, human. You speak truth without fear. Fine, show us your plan. Hansol showed them his strategy. Human ships would be the fortress. With their powerful shields, they would take the enemy's heavy fire. Alien ships would be the strike force. Fast and deadly, they would hit the Krell weak points. Minji had developed the formation. Human vessels in the center absorbing damage. Alien ships flowing around them like water, striking from all angles. It used everyone's strengths and covered everyone's weaknesses. The Krell came 3 days later. Their swarm was massive. 3,000 ships, all connected, all thinking as one. They crashed against Terminus Gate like a wave against rocks. The first battle was brutal. The Krell did not fear death. They threw themselves at the combined fleet again and again. Human shields held, but barely. Alien strike teams destroyed hundreds of enemy ships, but thousands more kept coming. Daleth's ship took heavy damage. His engines failed. Krell ships surrounded him, moving in for the kill. Hansol saw it happen on his screens. All ships cover Daleth, Hansol ordered. We do not leave anyone behind. The Indomitable moved between the Krell and Daleth's damaged ship. Human shields took the hits meant for the Dren warrior. Other ships formed a protective circle, fighting off the swarm until rescue ships could reach Daleth. Later, Daleth contacted Hansol privately. You risked your flagship to save me. Why? Hansol answered simply. Because you are part of this fleet. Human Drine, it does not matter. We protect each other. That is how we win. Daleth was silent for a moment. Then he said quietly, I was wrong about humans. You fight with honor. True honor. Not the honor of dying bravely. The honor of keeping your people alive. I will follow you, Fleet Admiral. To the end. The battles continued for weeks. The combined fleet held Terminus Gate. They stopped the Krell from advancing. But they could not push forward either. They were stuck. Then Yuna sent the message. The resonance weapon was ready. But someone had to get it to the Nexus, deep in Krell territory, surrounded by millions of enemy ships. Hansol knew what he had to do. I will take a strike team. Small, fast ships. We slip through their lines while the main fleet keeps them busy. Daleth volunteered immediately. I go with you. You saved my life. Now I help you save the galaxy. Minji stepped forward too. My ship is fast. I know how to avoid enemy sensors. I am coming, others volunteered. A Lyran pilot, a Vec engineer, a Rack soldier. 10 ships, 10 crews, all willing to risk everything. The main fleet launched a massive attack. They drew the Krell swarm away from the Nexus. It was a desperate fight. Ships exploded. People died. But they held the line, giving the strike team their chance. Hansol led his small force deep into enemy space. They dodged patrols. They hid in asteroid fields. They moved like shadows through the Krell territory. Finally, they reached the Nexus, a massive structure alive with energy. This was it, the heart of the swarm, but the Krell knew they were there. Thousands of ships converged on their position. The strike team fought desperately, buying time. Hansol's ship pushed forward, carrying Yuna's weapon. They reached the Nexus. Hansol activated the resonance weapon. The device hummed to life, sending out waves of energy that human ears could not hear but Krell minds could not ignore. The effect was immediate. Krell ships stopped moving. They floated silently in space. Then slowly they began moving again. But differently, not as a swarm, as individuals. The neural connection was broken. The war was over. Not through genocide, not through destruction, through freedom. The Krell were no longer slaves to the hive mind. They were people now. Strange people, but people nonetheless. The strike team made it back safely. The main fleet cheered when they arrived. They had won, together, human and alien, united against a common threat. Hansol stood on his bridge, exhausted but satisfied. They lost 23% of their forces, but they saved billions of lives. They stopped the swarm, and they proved that different species could work together. That was worth everything. Ambassador Su-Jin walked through the corridors of the Galactic Council station. She was the first human to ever set foot here. Aliens of every shape and size stopped to stare at her. Some looked curious. Others looked afraid. All of them whispered. She wore a simple blue uniform with Earth's flag on her shoulder. No weapons, no guards. Just one human woman walking into a chamber filled with the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Behind her, docked at the station, sat the indomitable Commander. Han Sol had insisted on bringing her in the most powerful warship humans had. It was a message. Earth came in peace, but Earth was not weak. The council chamber doors opened. Su-Jin stepped inside. Hundreds of counselors sat in a massive circular room. They represented species from across the galaxy, old civilizations that had existed for thousands of years. All of them now looking at one young human woman. High Chancellor Vexenil stood at the center. He was tall, thin, with skin that glowed faintly blue. His species had been exploring space when humans still lived in caves. He looked at Su-Jin with eyes that had seen empires rise and fall. Ambassador Su-Jin of Earth, his voice echoed through the chamber. You have been summoned to explain your world's actions. The Galactic Council demands answers. Su-Jin walked to the center of the room. She stood alone, surrounded by hundreds of powerful aliens. She felt their eyes on her, judging her, measuring her. She stood tall and spoke clearly. Thank you for seeing me, Chancellor. I come in peace and with respect, but I also come with the voice of my world. Earth answers to no one. We will explain our actions, but we will not apologize for protecting our home. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some counselors looked shocked. Others looked angry. A human speaking so boldly to the council was unheard of. A counselor from the Rak species stood up. His species were known for their military strength. He pointed at Su-Jin accusingly. You violated our protocols. You hid your technology. You deceived the entire galaxy. These are serious crimes. Su-Jin turned to face him. Her voice stayed calm but firm. Earth never signed your protocols. We never agreed to your rules. When we discovered we were not alone in the universe, we chose to observe first. We watched how your council works. We saw how you treat new species. We saw the Valix Empire conquer 12 worlds with council approval. We made a choice. We chose to protect ourselves. Another counselor, a female from the peaceful Lyran species, spoke more gently. But you let us think you were primitive. You could have joined us as equals, why hide? Su-Jin looked at her directly. Because we needed to learn who we could trust. Would you trust strangers who might see you as weak? Would you show all your secrets to people who might become enemies? Earth chose wisdom over pride. We watched. We learned. And we were right to be careful. The Valix came to conquer us without mercy. If we had been weak, billions of humans would be dead or enslaved right now. Silence fell over the chamber. The truth in her words was hard to deny. The Council had approved the Valix attack. If Earth had truly been defenseless, the Council would have done nothing to save them. Vexenil nodded slowly. You make a fair point, Ambassador. But now the question is different. What does Earth want? What are your intentions? Some fear you will become the next great threat to galactic peace. Su-Jin smiled. Earth wants partnership, not conquest. We want to trade, to learn, to grow alongside other species. But we will defend ourselves absolutely. We will never bow to threats. We will never surrender our freedom. Those who respect us will find humans to be loyal friends. Those who attack us will learn what the Valix learned. She paused, then added more quietly. We released all the Valix prisoners. We fixed their ships and let them go home. We could have destroyed them. We chose mercy. That should tell you what kind of species we are. That surprised many counselors. Releasing prisoners was not common in galactic wars. Usually prisoners became slaves or were held for huge ransoms. Earth asked for nothing and sent them home. A counselor from the Vex species, known for their scientific knowledge, stood up. Your technology is remarkable. Will you share it with the council? Su-Jin thought carefully before answering. We will share some technology with trusted friends. defensive shields for peaceful species who need protection, medical advances that can help everyone. But weapons technology, that we will guard carefully. We learned from watching you. Too much power in the wrong hands causes more problems than it solves. Back on Earth, General Taeyang met with military leaders from 3 friendly alien species. They had come to learn human combat tactics. They wanted to understand how Earth defeated the Valak so completely. Taeyang showed them recordings of the battle. He explained human strategy. We study our enemies carefully. We find their weaknesses. The Valaks were overconfident. They expected easy victory. We used their confidence against them. We let them think they won, then showed them the truth. An alien commander from the Drine species asked, "But how did you build such powerful ships without anyone knowing?" Taeyang smiled. "We built them inside moons and asteroids. We mined resources from comets far from Earth. We used the whole solar system as our factory. Everything looked normal from the outside, but inside, we were building the strongest fleet in the galaxy." In Dr. Yuna's laboratory, engineers from multiple species worked together. She had invited them to collaborate on a new project. Not weapons this time. Something better. Medical technology that could save lives across the galaxy. An alien scientist, Engineer Hyunwoo from the mechanical Grick species, examined the equipment. "This is amazing. Human medicine combines technology and biology in ways we never considered." Yuna nodded. "Humans learned from everyone. We studied alien biology. We adapted alien technology. We combined everything we learned into something new. That is humanity's real strength. We adapt. We learn. We grow." Back at the council station, the debate continued for hours. Some species wanted to restrict Earth's expansion. Others wanted alliances. Some wanted to learn from humans. Others feared them. Finally, Vexnil called for a vote. "All in favor of granting Earth provisional membership in the Galactic Council?" Lights glowed across the chamber. Green for yes, red for no. Slowly, more green lights appeared than red. The vote passed. Vexnil announced, "Earth is granted provisional membership. In 2 years, we will vote again for full membership. Until then, Ambassador Sujin will represent your world here. Welcome to the Galactic Council, humanity." Sujin bowed respectfully. She had done it. Earth was no longer alone. Earth was part of something bigger now. But as she left the chamber, she knew this was just the beginning. Joining the council meant new responsibilities, new challenges, new threats. Earth would have to prove itself worthy of its place among the stars. On the Indomitable, Han Sol received the news. He smiled. His warship had brought Sujin here safely. Now she would stay here as Earth's voice to the galaxy. His job was done. Time to go home. "Set course for Earth," he told his crew. "Our planet has a seat at the galactic table now. Let us see what happens next." The Indomitable turned and headed back toward the solar system. Behind it, the council station buzzed with activity. Every species was talking about Earth, the humans who appeared from nowhere, the humans who changed everything. In her laboratory on Earth, Yuna watched the news. She saw Sujin's success. She saw the celebrations in the streets. But she also saw something else. New threats gathering in the shadows. Species that feared human power. Groups that wanted to test Earth's strength. She knew the truth. The real test was still coming. Earth had shown it could defend itself. Now Earth would have to prove it could be trusted. Power brought responsibility, and responsibility brought challenges. But Yuna was not worried. Humans had survived worse. They adapted. They learned. They grew stronger through every challenge. The galaxy had no idea what humanity was really capable of, and that was fine. Let them learn slowly. Let them see humans as partners, not threats. The shock waves from Earth's emergence were still spreading across the galaxy. Some waves would bring friendship, others would bring conflict. But Earth was ready for whatever came next. The battleships had changed everything. But the real change was just beginning.